We were talking about this last night. Bin Laden was Shia or Sunni? Bin Laden was Sunni, right?
To me, if he actually did what he did, I don't believe the official narrative at all anymore. Zero.
Yeah, especially after these Epstein files.
And as someone that came out, the Shadow Commission, as someone that walked out from underneath those buildings, Danny Jones, who watched 3,000 of my fellow Americans die that day, that I will never forget as long as I live. That every time I see the Brooklyn Bridge, my heart stops, because that's the bridge that I used to walk away from downtown Manhattan as the buildings were collapsing behind me, bro. I started my day underneath those buildings. And I wept like every other American that day, bro. As people were starting to stampede because we didn't know what the hell was going on. Planes were flying everywhere. Phones weren't working. I thought it was the end of the world, bro. I literally thought it was the end of the world. Like World War III had begun, which technically it did. And just looking back now in the aftermath of everything that's happened since then, and the Patriot Act, and all these rights that we've lost, and all these wars that we fought, and I'm asking you, when George Bush Jr. got on the microphone in front of the White House and said, today our country was attacked, and blah, 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 and we're going to take out the Taliban.
Now watch this drive.
Did we take out the Taliban, Danny Jones?
No, now we hired them, right?
Didn't we pay them all these years through NGOs, billions of dollars? We left them more weapons than most modern armies have, more than Albania itself probably has. Why did they send our boys there and our girls there? What did we win as Americans except a mountain of debt? What did we win in Iraq, bro? Millions and millions. Who does it benefit? It's not benefiting the American people. It's benefiting who? Who's it benefiting the most, Danny?
The deep state, the military-industrial complex.
So having family that served in the military, friends that have served in the military, I can tell you right now, they couldn't try to draft as many. The left is definitely not going. They're like, fuck you guys, we'll go to jail. I've spoke to kids, they're awake, bro. 20-year-olds, they're like, fuck you. I ain't going, I don't give a fuck. Though Muhammad Ali, half the right, in my opinion, has woken up. Half the right has woken up.
Yeah, a good amount has.
Okay? There's a fraction left. If I was Israel, the only move I would have is to try to make people hate the Muslims with everything. They would have been smarter if they just attacked the Arabs. Left the rest of us out of it.
Why do you think Israel is doing things, which it seems to be intentional, that is making people hate them more?
I think part of this is also a part of the plan. I've never had, well, for the record, I dare them to call me anti-Semitic. I'll say it on you. I fucking dare you. I come from the nation that saved every single Jew during the Holocaust. My grandmother's two brothers were hung off trees in Albania. My great uncles were murdered by the SS. 16 and 18 years old, they were hung off trees in Tropoja, Albania. Okay? Northern Albania. Not a single Jew died in the Albanian lands. And I'm proud of that. My first cousins are Jewish. Half my friends are Jewish. Shout out to Neve, who is Israeli. He's down in Miami doing this thing. You know who you are, brother. Shout out to Vlad. Shout out to Oleg, my Russian Jews that I love with all my fucking heart, that I went to Pace University with them and had the best years of my life. I have many Jewish friends and family. I don't have any hatred towards Jews, but I have hatred towards extremists that claim to be from that religion, just like I hate any Muslim that does unthinkable acts. Because to me, they're not a Muslim. No more than these people that call themselves Jews are doing what they're doing. Pushing pornography. That's not what God taught you. That's not what Moses sent you to learn in the Old Testament. Pushing all these filthy fucking policies all over the world. To me, I feel bad for my Jewish friends and family that are caught in the crossfire. I had a friend of mine named Max, and I won't mention his last name. His wife's on one of the biggest talk shows in America every morning. I'm not going to say her name. He reaches out to me. I went to school with him. And he feels like, man, you're kind of, because I went on Jake Shields' podcast. He's like, man, you kind of went a little far, and I know you're not like that. I know you don't hate my people. I said, dude, I've known you my entire life. I said, you've seen how my religion has been dragged through the mud by the very institutions and companies that your people own. Never once have I ever seen you speak publicly. Not all Muslims are like this. Not all Muslims are evil. Not all Muslims are terrorists. Yet he wanted me to make statements publicly. Where the fuck you guys been for 30 years? I never heard you guys grabbing the microphone and saying, don't hate all Muslims. I never tell people to hate Jews. I love them, bro. Some of my best friends, bro. To me, I've done more business with Jews than anybody else, bro. Brilliant business people, and for the most part, bro, they keep their word. They keep their word when they say yes, yes, no, no.
Yeah,
Okay?
pretty much all of my Jewish friends aren't religious at all.
And they're not. The majority of my friends weren't, but they would observe like Hanukkah and stuff like that. But they weren't every day with the tefillin and all that stuff.
They don't follow the rules.
But I don't have any, I've never, ever had a problem with them, and I still don't. But I got a problem when you attack my faith. You try to paint it in a way that's not true. You use very powerful machines to do that, from films like the one we just played, to everything, to news, and completely dehumanize and distort what my religion actually says. Like Muslims are the enemies of Jews. No, my friend, it was actually Christians that were the enemies of Jews throughout history. It was Christians that massacred the Jews. It was the Christians that did the Inquisition. It was the Christians that did the Holocaust. It wasn't the Muslims.